This is Mayor Ron Anders with the Mayor's Minutes from our February 16th Auburn City Council meeting. During the Committee of the Whole last night, the City Council appointed 5 individuals to the Metropolitan Planning Organization's Citizens Advisory Committee, and those individuals are Dana Camp and Michael Berg, Nancy Bendinger, Robin Chang, and Christopher Smith, and we appreciate their effort and their willingness to serve with this important entity, and we thank all the others who applied for this position and continue to encourage you to look for opportunities to serve your city. As we got into the agenda last night, there were a number of board announcements: East Alabama Mental Health, the Library Board, and the West Pace Village Improvement Board. If you're interested in any of these, I would encourage you to go to the city's website and look at the information about how these boards function and what is their purpose. And if you think this is a good fit for you, then we encourage you to apply for these positions. All of these will be appointed on March the 16th. We also announced a position for the Board of Education. That appointment will be made for April the 20th. This position is currently held by a board member that will be seeking a second term, so I just want everybody to understand that. But we do have a Board of Education vacancy that we announced last night. Under contracts, we approved a contract with Temple Inc. for 1 year of applied information for our traffic control software. This was $30,750. We approved a contract with Stacy Norman Architects for design services for the City of Auburn Public Safety Training Center project, which is the area in North Auburn above 280, where 280 and 147 are North College connect. It's the old rest stop area that the City of Auburn will be turning into a public safety training center. And then we approved a contract with CSL Services to evaluate the Northside Basin. It'll be a 90-day temporary sewer flow monitoring study. This is $73,000, and as we evaluate Auburn's future and our infrastructure needs, this will give us some information and some data to allow us to make great decisions. Under ordinances last night, we approved 2 stop signs in the Mims Trail Subdivision, Addition B. The City Council also approved the rezoning last night of approximately 5.6 acres from CDD to industrial. This is property located at 1571 West Sanford Avenue. And then later on in resolutions, we approved the conditional use. This will be an industrial use, a data center in this area. We're very excited about potentially having this business in town. They are considering coming to Auburn, and this is part of the steps that have to be taken in this consideration. The City Council denied last night a rezoning to amend ordinance number 2569 in order to add 4.2 acres for 33,000 square feet of office use. This is a Hamilton Place PDD. Many of you remember this coming up last fall. I believe it was in November, where the developer wanted to build an office complex and access a road that basically goes into the back of Publix. It was defeated that night, and the developer brought back a new plan that had a driveway that almost mirrored the Bent Brook driveway, not exactly. There was a public road. They redrew how the office space was going to be in their park. But last night, the City Council ultimately defeated that revised plan 8-1. Under commercial development agreement last night, the City Council approved an agreement with Multi-Auble GS, and this is the downtown Publix. All the details of this is in your city information on the city's website, but this is something we've been working towards for many years, to have a downtown grocery store, and we're very excited that apparently we're working towards that. We're getting closer every day, but this is part of the development agreement, and all the details will be on the city's website. But we're excited about this. This is a downtown Publix that will be facing north, with most of the parking located right there, and then there'll be retail buildings, retail businesses, small shops that will be facing Gay Street. So it'll be a great addition to that area of town, and this is located where the old Burger King used to be. As we got into resolutions last night, we approved a resolution with Mike Swoop on behalf of Robert Fucci, and this is a performance residential development. This is going to be some townhomes, some twin homes, and some ADDUs in the area that is between Harper and Glen and DeBartolete and Ryan. The City Council approved an expansion of commercial use, a warehouse and distribution center for SIO2. We continue to talk about all their great work and their growth here in our community. This was done for Terry Doyle on behalf of SIO2. 2270 Riley Street. And then the City Council approved an industrial use. Don Allen was applying on behalf of Mr. Ed Lee Spencer Jr. It is for an expansion of the Builder's First Source building. It used to be Auburn Millworks at 380 Industry Drive. And then finally, the City Council approved an outdoor cafe permit for David Esposito on behalf of the Auburn Draft House at 161 East Magnolia Avenue, and I believe that this will function much like the others that are located in front of restaurants up and down Magnolia Avenue, and be a great addition to downtown Auburn. Obviously, the big topic we talked about last night was short-term rentals. This is the first time that the City Council has considered the ordinance of short-term rentals. This has been a long process of multiple years of a task force that I appointed within the first few months of this City Council being sworn in. The task force met a number of times, had public hearings, gave all that information over to the planning staff, who developed a couple of different drafts of ordinances that many people in our public were able to weigh in on. And then eventually the planning staff developed an ordinance for the Planning Commission to vote on, and they did that in January. That was forwarded over to the City Council as the final arbiter of that ordinance. We had great discussion last night, had over 20 individuals from Auburn that spoke to this last night, and I want to say that every one of those people did a great job. They managed that process very well, and it was a great example of good local government. Eventually, the City Council decided to add a number of amendments to this ordinance. I would encourage all of you to go to our website and read what the ordinance looks like now. Because we fundamentally changed the ordinance in a way that allowed homestays in most of our city, it was advised to us by the city manager last night and the city attorney not to continue to vote, and so we have postponed the vote on this ordinance until our second meeting in March, which is March the 16th. This is a very difficult subject. It is something that a lot of people are interested in. There's a lot of passion around. We've been talking about this and studying this for a couple of years. It's going to be very difficult for us to get this right the first time, but we're trying. And we want to try to get it right and get something in place in time for this upcoming Auburn football season, which we hope will function and look like all of the great Auburn football seasons of the past. So we're going to continue to work on this and have another meeting in March. That will be also an opportunity for another public hearing. In the meantime, as you start to learn what these amendments mean to this ordinance, we encourage you to continue to reach out to your City Council representatives. You can reach out to my office and let us know what your thoughts are on that. And we'll continue to work towards trying to get this right. I just appreciate everybody's patience and willingness to dig in to help our city develop a policy around short-term rentals. It is very important for Auburn to have a philosophy that we can lean on as we move forward with this subject. This is Mayor Ryan Anders with the Mayor's Minutes from our February 16th Auburn City Council meeting. Have a good week.